I think we're live here. So welcome. Hey, this is Brad.
And I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead. And today we're going to be making,
I will be making the Artisan bread. It's easy. It's 4 ingredients. There's no added sugar. It is super easy and delicious.
Yes, and this is probably our most popular video.
Yes.
And, oops, I lost my chat. I got to find my chat. There we go.
Back.
Yeah.
To the back.
Yeah, move to the back. Now, here's the scoop, guys. When it says no sugar bread, we understand that you have natural sugars that occur, but we're saying you don't add any sugar.
Right. There's no additional sugar added. It is only the 4 ingredients, flour, salt, yeast, and water. And that's it. There is nothing else added.
Yep.
No who's its and what's its.
Or who's its or what's its galore.
Right.
So the way that we decided to do this is kind of like they do the TV show food.
Right.
In that she's got one that's almost done that she's going to bake like now.
Yep.
But then she's going to go back and show you from scratch.
Right. Because this takes a half an hour to bake. So if I bake this now, it'll be done by the time I'm done showing you everything else. Actually, there will be some time between because this stuff really doesn't take more than just a few minutes to make. It really is super easy.
The prep time, honestly, is probably 8 to 10 minutes.
Not even.
I'm
sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's really just a couple of minutes to do each step. So.
What she said.
Yeah, sorry.
So, but then the video is going to take probably a good half hour to 40 minutes because we're going to bake it, and we're going to do that all live.
Yep.
So, on your mark, get set. Go from backwards, Mama.
So, from backwards, I have been letting this ball of dough rise for about 40 minutes. When you take the tub of dough out of your refrigerator, you can roll it into a ball and let it sit on your counter for 40 minutes before baking it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make an egg wash. And all that is an egg and a little bit of water. This is a fresh egg. We just got that out of the chicken coop this morning.
Our chickens have been too lazy. It's winter time and they don't.
So they're a precious commodity right now. A little bit of water, and then you're just gonna beat that egg. Make it nice, like you're making scrambled eggs. So,
well, while you're doing that, I'll say hello to a few people here. Clapool, they said they just made the 2 loaves of this bread just a little bit ago.
Oh, awesome.
And they're rising. And Tony, we're saying hi to Tony. We're saying hi to 2 sparrows, Elaine, and Grandma. Grandma's so happy.
Yeah.
And everybody else, we're gonna be baking from scratch.
And Kimmy from She's in Her Apron just made a comment. One of my favorite people. She said, being able to bake your own bread is such a comfort. It really is. It makes the house just smell so good, and everybody comes running because there's fresh bread on the counter, and you have to swat their hands because they'll burn themselves. No, not really. But yeah, I mean, our 2 older boys, they would hollow out a loaf.
They would sneak underneath it?
They would take it and eat the inside, so it didn't look like it had been touched.
Yeah.
Except there was the whole crust part.
Yeah, well, so. And I just thought of something. A way to describe how the house smells when you're baking bread.
You can't.
I think I just did.
Okay.
It's like a hug from Mom.
Aw, you're going to make me cry.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, then we're going backwards. So please explain what you're doing.
Going backwards, I've got to do this first so that I can show you the other part so it's not a 3-hour video. It really doesn't take that long, but... So I'm just going to brush this with some egg wash just to give it some really nice color and to allow our sesame seeds to stick. I've made this bread for what? How many years? 10 years?
Easy.
And I used to use oil or butter. Well, it doesn't allow the seeds to stick very well. Once you go to cut it, they all just fall right off. But this allows, the egg allows the seeds to stick. And actually, I think Heather at Go and Batty told me that. She suggested that.
Can you slide that a little closer to the camera? There you go. Thank you, Mama.
So
Beautiful.
there we go. And these seeds are not going to go to waste. I'm just going to tuck those in underneath there. Now, another thing that I like to do is slice this bread just a teeny tiny bit so it allows it to expand into kind of like a flower. Because if you don't cut it, you're going to have one side just kind of explode out the side and it just looks weird.
Wow.
So I'm just going to cut it here. Just like 3 or 4 slits.
Close cam. There we go.
Just
and it makes it look so beautiful too when it's done.
Yeah, and I always do that after the seeds. So just it has this really pretty flower shape. I don't know. I used to do 5 slits, but that doesn't matter. So now I'm going to bake this at, I know I just touched my face again too.
We're trying hard not to.
I can't help it.
But we've been sanitized.
I actually literally just washed my hands before walking over here. I'm going to bake this in a 450 degree oven for 30 minutes.
But there's a trick. Remember the water?
The water.
You got to tell them about the water.
Okay, so in my oven, I have a pizza stone that I'm going to put this parchment paper on top of. It makes a really, really yummy crust. But also I have an old metal cake pan that I pour a cup of hot water into, and it steams the air in the oven, and it makes the upper side of the crust just
crunchy. So you get the outer crust is like nice and crunchy, but the inside is chewy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay. Yeah, Allie says don't peek. 30 minutes is perfect.
Yep.
All right. Let's see some other questions.
Get this out. I'm gonna slide this in here.
Yep. Hey there, bandana
Pour
grandma.
the water. Close that up.
Hey, Brad Norrid, will you do some burger bun making videos? We have in the past.
Yeah, we have in the past.
They are in. You just got to go and search our channel because they're in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, so now that's the reverse. Now you're going to start from very scratch.
Right.
Now, before you get cooking, Mama.
I'm already cooking.
Yeah. When you make this recipe, it does not just make one loaf, and you can make it over the course of a few days.
Right. So when I make this bread, I make it generally in this size bucket.
Which is what?
It holds 21 cups of flour. It holds 21 cups is what it says on the bottom. It's just one of those cheap Walmart buckets. It comes as a set of 4. But I like that it has a sealable lid on it. But you make up this bread, you can make up 1 loaf, you can make up all 4. But you can it allows you to make bread over 2 weeks. If of course that lasts that long.
It won't.
But this dough will last in a refrigerator or a cold garage for 2 weeks.
Now,
sometimes even a little bit longer. But then it's really sour and it's really good.
It is. It gets really, yeah. Now hold on, I gotta say, there's somebody special here that we know.
Hi, Jack.
Jack Denani. Yep.
You're so funny.
Goes to our church.
He's one of Caleb's buddies.
And he's super cool. Hey there, cool, Jack Denani.
I hope your homeschooling is going well.
Yeah, because we're homeschooling too.
Yeah. Well, never mind. I'll get to
all right. So now,
okay.
I wanted to make sure that you hit on that so people understand. You can have this all week.
Right. This makes 4 1-pound loaves, or you can also make this into bread bowls. Making smaller sizes, you can make 6 ounces. Oh yeah, they're perfect for soup.
Yeah, if you do any kind of soup, I mean, we're still cold here. This is soup weather.
Yeah. And
the kids beg for soup in a bread bowl. Her broccoli cheese soup it's lethal, people.
It's so good. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this up, and you guys are gonna you bread bakers out there are gonna be like, what are you doing? So I'm going to go ahead and put the yeast and salt in the bowl. I'll put them on either side, but that's usually how I do it. So 2 tablespoons of yeast and 2 tablespoons of salt. And I know a lot of you are saying, no, the salt will kill the yeast.
It doesn't.
Actually doesn't.
When you see it, because it's inevitable.
Right.
There's always those folks that go, it can't be done. Well, watch. You're going to watch it happen.
Right. I forgot a mixing spoon.
The mixing spoon. So, okay, let me see if I can find some
Oops,
comments. Stormy Acres Homestead says, I adore you too.
Aw.
How kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pour the water in here, which is 4 cups of hot water. Now, not too hot of water. If it's too hot, then it will kill the yeast. But you want it to make sure that it's just not, it's not too hot to touch. So now I'm going to go ahead and add 8 cups of flour. And yes, I said 8 cups of flour. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you for not saying anything while I was counting.
I was biting my lip, but I was also counting.
Yeah.
She knew that I was going to start counting off numbers just to throw her off.
Yeah, him and the kids do that all the time. Drives me crazy.
But I didn't do it.
Thank you. So now what I'll do is I use the handle of the spoon. It makes it really easy to mix.
One second.
Yes.
There's a question.
Yes.
What kind of flour?
I am using bread flour, but you can use all-purpose flour. I always generally just use bread flour because I make a lot of bread.
Self-rising or all-purpose?
No, do not use self-rising because you have yeast in there. That is your rising agent or your leavening agent. Self-rising flour has baking powder and baking soda in it and salt. So you don't want to use that. That's more for cakes and things like that. Now, as you can see, this is really dry.
This is going to be sticky.
Yes, it is going to be a very sticky dough, and it's supposed to be a sticky dough.
Uh-huh.
So instead of continuing with the spoon, I'm going to move this so I don't cut myself.
Or stab me. That would be good. That'd be good.
Right. I'm going to use my hands. Now with my big bucket here, I usually set this down in the sink so I can really work well with it. That's why I'm using this bowl.
Actually, now that's a good question. Now that are you going to put that into the bucket?
No, I'm going to leave it in this bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because normally you would put it in the bucket.
Yeah, well, I usually just mix it in the bucket and then put the top on it. But
we're using the bucket.
We're using the bucket right now. And all of this dough will it expands too much and it'll flop over the sides.
Yeah. Bandana Grandma said, if you use self-rising flour, you will end up like I Love Lucy with a 12-foot loaf coming out of the oven.
Exactly.
I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Funny.
Now, this is a very sticky dough. You want to continue to work it.
Yeah, see how sticky that is?
So there's no dry spots in it. Actually, yesterday I had to add a bit more water because our temperature, our air is really dry. I had to add a bit more water to it.
It is sticky.
Yes, it's very sticky. But it's okay. It's supposed to be.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
so,
Donna Terry's here. Hi, Donna.
Hey, Donna.
Terry.
Can I have a red spatula?
Yes, you may.
Thanks, because the only way to get this off is to scrape it.
And I will point something out that she's gotten in the good habit of, is she only does it with one hand for this very reason. Yep.
Yeah, when you're mixing sticky doughs, try and do it with one hand because otherwise you're going to have dough all over the house.
Just me, I just joined. Could you please post a recipe? We'll do better than that. We'll just tell you.
Tell it to you. 8 cups of bread flour is what I use, but you can use all-purpose. 8 whole cups. 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 tablespoons of salt, and 4 cups of warm water.
That's all that's in it. No added sugar.
I'll wash my hand now.
Yes, and we do have it. If you want to go back and look at our artisan bread no sugar video, it's actually the recipes in the description of the video. But that's all it is 8 cups of water and all the yada yada and yippee skippy.
It's easy.
So let's see. I saw a comment here. I'm going to try and find it. I'm going to paraphrase because I can't find it. But it was I gave away my bread machine after learning this recipe.
Yeah, no,
it's easy.
This is so easy. I mean, it really, really is. You don't need a pan for this. You could, if you don't have a pizza stone, you can bake it on a cookie sheet. Yeah. It's really that simple.
North Shore Preparedness says Domageddon. Yeah.
Funny. Now, I am going to just put a top on this and leave it for 2 hours on my counter. Okay, now you will have to come over here and burp it a little bit. This bowl is realistically too small for the amount of dough. If you had a larger, deeper bowl that, you know, if you don't want to buy one of these, or if you don't have one of these, you just have a bigger, deeper bowl, just cover it with plastic. It's not that essential. I just like having the lids.
Well, now you can show them what it looks like when it's sat for the 2 hours.
Well, actually, when it's sat for the 2 hours, this bucket is full, pushing the top off.
Right. But this is because we just used some of this dough that's in the oven.
I made this one last night. I let it rise on the counter, and then I knocked it down and stuck it out in the garage, because our garage stays about 30 degrees. And then this afternoon, I tore off a piece of dough and rolled it into a ball. I need that done.
And here, let me show a close of what it looks like, because it does look different. It's all porous. There's little air bubble holes in there, and this is sticky. Mm-hmm. This is sticky, and it's designed to be sticky. But you watch it; it works great.
Yep.
Can you make a half batch?
Yes, you can. 4 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of yeast, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 2 cups of water.
Yep.
So yeah, you can make a half batch, but honestly, I would make the full batch and then just leave it where it's cold, because you can use this. You can pull out a little bit, bake it, put the rest back in the refrigerator. It's that awesome. It's that easy.
Jack Denani is asking if we can make a macaroon video.
I'm not allowed to make macaroons.
She would eat them all.
No,
and we would not get any.
No, they're all coconut. We don't like them. We don't like coconut.
We do.
Okay.
She does.
I have a story to tell about macaroons.
I love them.
I like coconut.
We never get them because she doesn't like them.
I don't like the texture of coconut. Anyway, I have a funny story about macaroons. I was 13 years old, and I was home by myself. My parents were gone. You know, that long ago, it wasn't a big deal if you were left at home alone. So I decided I wanted to bake something.
Oh.
I didn't know what to bake, so I decided to make macaroons. While I'm making the macaroons, I followed the recipe, right? Well, they all came out flat, like those crisp cookies you like.
I love those.
They came out really flat. So I couldn't understand what happened. So I called my grandma. I said, "Grandma, what did I do wrong?" Well, silly girl, didn't separate the eggs. You're supposed to take, I can't remember if it's egg yolks or egg whites that's supposed to be in the recipe, but I didn't do it. I just put the whole egg in.
Yeah.
So.
Lesson learned.
Read your recipe better.
Question here. This is an interesting one for Mary Beth Smith, and it's, can you lower the salt content? And the answer is yes. The salt is only there for the flavor.
Yeah, that's all.
You could ditch it altogether if you wanted, but for us, that makes a horribly bland bread.
Yeah. Bread without salt for our family is very bland, and it's like, oh, give that to the chickens.
But we know that there are people that need to have that low salt because of, health reasons.
Well, and the salt that we use is a very coarse salt. Here,
hold it over there. I'll go to close cam, engage.
So it's a very coarse salt.
It's actually pink.
It's the pink Himalayan salt. It's not that super fine table salt. Which actually, technically, I guess we are adding less. I don't know what the ratio is to this.
This is less salty.
This is less salty, so it is, and is much better for you with all the minerals that are in there. So it is entirely up to you.
This is pink Himalayan salt,
yes,
Steve.
It is pink Himalayan salt. So.
Yep. And so, all right, now what's next?
Okay, so now we've let our dough rise. The best thing, sorry, I have hair on my face. The best thing to do is to let it rest overnight in a cold spot. It develops much better flavor.
It does.
Overnight. You can make it that same day. It works the same. If you do and it's not cold, don't let it rise as long. Only let it rise for about 20 minutes before baking it. Otherwise, it will do all kinds of wonky stuff. All right, so I have my counter here. I'm going to flour this, and you really don't even need that much. And I'm going to actually flour the very top, so that way my hands don't stick to it. But look at this.
Hold on, wide cam.
So
and you don't use that.
You don't use all of this. I'm going to pull out just about what looks like a pound. I never measure. You can measure if you'd like.
If you're a measurer.
I don't measure much. So as you can see, it's still really sticky, but I'm gonna let this rest. Put it on this floured counter, just to cover it with flour, and then I'm not gonna knead it. I'm just gonna roll it into a ball,
And
just like this.
As you're going, what kind of yeast? It's just regular old
Dry active yeast.
Dry active
Yep.
yeast. To answer that question.
Yep.
And let's see. I thought there was another question.
We still have 17 minutes left.
Oh yeah, it's cooking.
Yeah.
It's
So
cooking.
this is how small it
Hold on.
is.
Here we go.
When it's when I take it out of the pan, okay? But it will double in size.
Can you show them how you do that?
Yeah.
Kind of with the hands, because that's one of the tricks that you didn't know in the beginning, and you'd make a lump.
Figured it out actually, but yeah. So you just kind of tuck it.
Hold her over there, and I'll go to the close cam. There we go.
You just kind of tuck it under, like this, to where it stretches out the top, to make the top nice and smooth.
Just like that.
As smooth as that can be.
Okay. Thank you.
So, yeah, no problem.
All right.
And honestly, that's it. It's realistically, you can make hot, fresh bread in less than 5 minutes, you know, actual active time.
Now
in a day.
Now that is sitting there, it's got to rise.
40 minutes if it's cold. If it's room temperature, 20 minutes. Because this is coming to room temperature. That's why you want to let it sit for at least 45 minutes.
We've got a person here from Palmetto, Florida, in Parrish. They heard us talking
no way.
in some of our older videos about the DeSoto Square Mall. She worked there.
I used to work at the DeSoto Square Mall when there was a Christian bookstore there called Loveworks. Yeah, I worked there.
Long time.
5, 6 years.
Yeah.
And then I went over to Religious Book and Supply, and then it changed over to Family Christian Store. So yeah, I worked in Christian bookstores for years.
Dan Schneider's here again. He must be bored out of his gourd.
Yeah.
Dan Schneider is our local genius beekeeper.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he's been itching to get into hives, and I want to get out there with him and see what's going on in the spring here coming up.
That's too funny. That she lives in Parrish. Danny J lives in Parrish. Yeah. I used to live in Parrish.
I wonder if we've ever met.
Maybe.
Maybe we have.
Maybe.
You never know. I was in a band called Scarecrow and Tin Men, and we were kind of popular, I guess. We were on the radio for a while. Had some hits.
I went to Bradenton High School. No, Bradenton Christian. Sorry. Bradenton High School.
How long will it keep in the fridge?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And like she was saying earlier, if you can wait the first day and go to the second day, it starts to get a nice little flavor going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so much better. And you can use this recipe for pizza dough.
Oh
We've
yeah,
done that
it does.
before.
It does really good.
You just have to make your little lumps, whatever size you want, just like this, and then you just roll them out. I gotta wash my hands.
Okay, you do that, and I'm gonna try and answer some questions here. Janet Schultz, how about adding honey to the bread? You can. We've not tried it in terms of knowing how long the rise will take.
Probably the same.
It might
go a little bit faster.
It might go a little bit faster. Honey is great, obviously. You would just have to experiment with it.
Yeah, the reason we have this bread is because it is no sugar added.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's no sugar added to it. Okay. DeSoto Mall is a ghost town now. Oh,
I have no doubt.
Yeah. There's another person that lived in Bradenton and walked to the mall.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, when we lived in Bradenton, we were there for a while. I actually worked at what was that park? Where I was like that. I drove the school bus.
It was off of 5th. What road was that?
I was a kid.
57th
26th Street?
No, not 26. It was 50 something.
Yeah, but I did the after school program with the teenage kids, high school kids.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
That's too funny.
Let's see. My family wants pizza most Fridays. Tomorrow may be the day I try this. Yeah. The trick is roll it thin. Roll it nice and thin.
Nice and thin yeah.
Let's see, because we've got some time left. We got to answer questions or chit chat for at least 12 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, she just.
Here, I'll clean up my mess.
Why don't you do that, baby? And also about answering some questions. There was a question. There was an actual question. It's my glasses. I'm going to blame it on old age, guys. It's the hair. When you start getting gray hair, Everything goes downhill.
Okay, I do have a question for Danny J, though. What condition is the neighborhood River Wilderness in?
Oh yeah, she lived in River
My
Wilderness.
parents had one of the first homes there. I'm wondering what the condition of that neighborhood is, because then when we were there, it was really ritzy. I mean, who was it? Paul
Azinger.
Paul Azinger lived there. I babysat for his kids.
The golfer.
Yeah. So it was really ritzy then. I'm just wondering what it's like now.
Well, here's a funny story about Paul Azinger. So if you, I don't follow golf, but I guess he was really, really popular at one point and did very well. Success, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Won a bunch of important things. But I worked at the mini golf place there on right next to Home Depot, and they had alligators and all kinds of crazy stuff. But one night, Paul Azinger, the professional golfer, comes in. And so I'm like, I know this guy. He's really, really a good golfer. And he's there with his kids, you know. He's just there to have a good time. And I go to give him his clubs, you know, and they're these horrible, like, toy, banged up, garbage clubs. And he kind of looked and he pulled out this club that he brought for himself that looked like a spaceship. It was like crazy. And he just kind of winks at me like, I got my own, pal. And then he goes, and I told him, I said, you know what, that's cool, but that's really not going to help you here. I said that to him. And he goes, it's just like, I got this, brother. And then about 10 minutes later, he comes walking back, and he's like, can I get one of those credit clubs? And I said, told you. He said, yeah, you were right. So
that is so funny. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah. Heather from Going Baddies here. We were talking about Heather earlier this morning.
Funny.
And good things.
Yeah.
Good things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bread pans. Let's see.
Oh, Allie uses this dough for cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
Very cool.
That would seem like that might be really chewy.
Yeah, we use our Amish white bread recipe for our cinnamon rolls.
Yep.
Because it's really fluffy. And the crumb on the inside of the dough is smaller, is not as coarse.
Yeah. Let's see. This recipe would make great to hand out loaves from neighbors to teach them how to make it. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
She will not toot her own horn, so I will toot it for her. At the church that we were in Ohio for several years, Mama led a ministry that, you know, when somebody comes to a church and they're new, and a lot of churches will give you like a little goodie bag or some candies, or they'll give you something as a, hey, we're glad you came and stopped by. Well, Mama would get up early in the morning and she would bake these loaves of bread, and they would be delivered to the people when they got to their house. Like, so they would fill out a card saying, hey, I was new here. And they'd give them a little goodie bag, but they would also, somebody would physically take them to their house, knock on the door, and give them a warm loaf of bread that she baked as a way just to say, hey, thanks for coming to church today.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is they were coveted. So if we didn't have that many visitors,
the pastors would come and snake them.
Well, that and other people who had delivered in the past or whatever they would kind of hang around the church office
just wait
to see if all of the loaves were being delivered. And if they're just hanging around, they get to take a loaf of bread home.
Yeah.
There's not enough visitors, so it's pretty funny actually.
Yeah, it was. Well, and also, too, when she made rolls using the Amish white bread recipe
They make great rolls
for the Wednesday night dinners. And it got to be where people would call and ask the menu beforehand, because if she wasn't making rolls, they wouldn't buy. They'd bring their own food.
Yeah, they would. Well, and the pastor would always come in and just...
Oh, I got to sample a few.
Just take a couple of rolls and then leave.
He totally would.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
So Julie from Texas. Hello, Julie. Hey, BB from Spain.
Funny.
Hope you're doing well. And we are praying for the folks where you're at.
Oh, goodness.
Let's see. I'll make some scones. We've never made scones.
I don't think I've ever even had scones.
It's kind of like a more crumbly.
It's like a biscuit?
It is like a biscuity kind of thing. It's great with a coffee or a tea. You see, I used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
And Mama was keeping the home
Kids.
fires burning with the kids. And so I have had a lot of weird stuff, like opportunities. And a lot of it, to be honest, I regret that she didn't get to come with us.
It's all right.
I really do.
I know you do, but I don't. It's okay.
I just hate that I got to go cool places without her.
Yeah. It's all right.
No.
I had fun at home with the kids.
Anyway.
Scones are easy to make. Okay, I'll have to try that.
Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. All
You're
right.
such a funny kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Make some scones. How much more time we got on that, baby?
6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anybody got a question?
My girls love to make scones for breakfast. Heather, how's your family? Let's see.
I have to find out. I'll have to try scones. Or is it
Scones.
scones?
It's
scones.
scones. Scones.
No, I think the British say scones.
Do they really?
I think. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
British shows. She likes watching those British shows.
I do.
Like, but they're like murder mystery shows.
There's a few murder mysteries right now. I'm watching a veterinarian one. But it's from the 70s. And it is so hokey, but it is really cute.
I saw, and I don't know why, but in your YouTube feed, you know how you get pushed videos they suggest you to watch? I saw Hugh Laurie, the guy from House.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
What are you doing?
I'm going to show you a bit that he did.
Okay. Yeah, Hugh Laurie is, he's from House.
But I didn't realize he was British.
Yes.
His accent is like crazy
He was also the dad on Stuart Little.
Yeah. But this bit came across and it was a comedy bit. He's known for comedy over there.
Really?
Yeah. And it was so funny. He walks into some official looking, I guess you would call it like some kind of a governmental facility. And he's talking to this guy, and the guy, he's like, well, okay, I need to get some information from you. And then he says, what's your name? And he said, my name is, I forget the first name because this was funny. He goes, my name is Patrick. And the guy's like, what are you doing? What's your name? Well, I told you. My name is Patrick. And they go back and forth, and that was it. The sound,
that was
his name.
That's weird.
But then he says, okay, well, I need to write something down. Can you spell it out for me? Well, it's exactly how it sounds. and he's
too funny.
Yeah. He basically said, well, okay, well, it's NIPP_E. He's like, what?
What?
And he says, is it? And then he said the word. And he goes, well, it's this. It was really funny. It was so odd.
Too funny.
It was so very odd.
Too funny.
Okay, Anne is asking, how many loaves does one batch of dough make? Usually, that is.
Usually, depending, depends on the size of loaf you want to do. I generally make 1 pound loaves, and this batch makes 4 1-pound loaves. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. It's entirely up to you. So.
Yeah. Hey, Mike DeFazio's in the house. What? Daniel, God is my judge, in the house. What? Let's see. Chicken stamps. Oh, we haven't seen chicken stamps in a long time.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, friends from long ago. Haven't been in videos for a while.
Very cool.
Well, thank you, chicken stamps. Let's see. They're asking who is canning. Kathy's from Matanawak. Now, how do you say that?
Manitowoc. It's Manitowoc.
There's debate.
No, that is, okay. Old Glory Farm, they are from Manitowoc. She was born and raised there. She told me that you say it Manitowoc. Am I right, Kathy?
Is it
right?
Manitowoc?
It's Manitowoc.
Okay. Canned pork last week, says Delaney.
All right, so Nebo Allen asks if we're making any colloidal soaps. We are not.
That's an excellent idea.
We have tried to make soap with colloidal silver, remember?
It turns weird.
It turns it a dark color, so we did not end up doing that.
I could better check that out. I could maybe try that again. Canning potatoes tomorrow. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
And potatoes are cheap, guys. They're still cheap.
Yeah. Well, our Walmart was out of them.
Well, and that's a weird thing too. Like the people around here, they eat potatoes like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, it's a big Wisconsin thing.
It's not an insult. It's just
not
it's
at all.
A regional thing.
It's just a regional thing.
Christa, yes, right. Oh well, that's
of course, it's Old Glory Farm. High five.
Let's see.
Keeping Up Appearances. No, I haven't seen that one.
What's that?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's a show.
Is it a show?
What happened to our?
That's weird.
That was weird.
Everything went.
All of our, the people that are commenting, the commenter disappeared, but the comment was still there.
Hey, there's somebody. El Cria from Brazil. El Cria.
Cool.
Go Messi. Go Lionel Messi. That guy's a wizard.
Too funny.
He's ridiculously good. Mm-hmm. I love football, like real football, not
we were
soccer.
watching a documentary about him the other day.
Lionel Messi is so good.
Yeah.
And he's a humble guy.
Yeah.
And he's worth it's ridiculous. He's worth over $300 or $400 million.
59 seconds.
BB Brad, you need a pond with fish.
And another comment disappeared.
That is strange. It went blank.
The thing is doing wonky things.
Oh my goodness. Brad is on a roll today.
Rice
Pass the butter.
Rice recipes will be popular in 8 months.
Yes, they will.
I have a really yummy one. But
actually,
that I make in the Instant Pot.
Maybe we should make your rice and beans tomorrow. What do you think about that?
Maybe.
Guys, beans are popular too right now.
Beans are popular.
And this is rice and beans. I promise you, it's addictive. I could sit and eat that till I'm sick.
Makes him sick, yeah. If he eats too much, yeah. Too many beans.
Hey, Vicky from Sweden. No. How do you say that name? Hunt.
I don't know. It keeps moving.
Oh, well, hello, Hunt. Somebody from
Sorry.
Sweden.
Hello.
We're not trying to be rude. We just don't know how to say your name.
Yeah.
New England Endler.
Alrighty.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So this is it. We're ready?
This.
And if don't forget about the singing.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Okay, before you do that, what we're talking about is when the bread comes out, there's a temperature change, and if you're real quiet, you can hear the bread singing. And what was that about?
I accidentally answered the phone.
You answered the phone?
I did. I thought I turned it off, to disconnect, to
somebody's
ignore
calling.
it. But somebody called.
Okay, well you'll have to put the bread up quick,
okay.
and we'll be quiet.
All
so
right.
on your mark, get set. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Hold on. I don't hear it.
Can't hear it. It's doing it.
A little bit.
It's just really light.
But look at that loaf of bread, guys. Holy mackerel. Let me get it over here closer. We'll do the close cam. Bang, zoom. Take a look at that. This camera, wait a minute. I'm going to go to the other camera because this camera's not showing as nice and dark as it is. I'm going to try and hold on to it like that so it doesn't rock the boat. Huh?
Here.
Look at that. Ow! It's burning me. But look at that. Holy mackerel.
So.
Yep. Yep.
It's yummy.
Now, as much as I would love to just go whack,
you can't.
You will burn the snot out of yourself.
You will. And actually, this bread is best when it is room temperature.
It never makes it that long.
It never makes it that long. But when you cut it when it's warm, it kind of tears the crumb on the inside. You have to really let it rest and let it cool down before cutting it properly. So.
There was a question. How hot was the oven?
450 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what the Celsius is.
And you can go back and watch.
200 fan? No. I watched the British baking show, and that's what you got to put it at 200 fan.
What is that show we like that the ladies like our version of Martha Stewart? And then there's that guy.
Mary Berry. That's the British baking show.
We like that show.
Yeah, it's Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry. I love her. She is
He's a little
weird, but I really like her. I love the things she makes. I love the way he describes how to make something, though. I've learned a lot about bread making just from watching him. He's really good at it.
That one... Oh, shoot, they were making all those hoity-toity desserts that were just beautiful.
There's no way I would try and do that. I would fail miserably. I'm not a pastry chef at all.
So, Larry Parrish is here in the house.
Hey there.
Hello, Larry. And not just about ducks. That's got to be a fun channel.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Not just about ducks. Love the British baking show.
She has some videos of just her on YouTube that I've watched that are really fun to watch.
I think they've got a good chemistry together.
Yeah, I think so too. He's just so kind to her, and she razzes him.
Yep.
And it's just they've got perfect chemistry.
Great show, says Lori Wagner. They must like that.
232 degrees Celsius. Thank you, BB.
Now, again, look at this loaf. Just gaze upon its wonder.
Yep. Here's the bottom.
You know what? We've got to open it up. We have to.
It's really hot.
But now, again, that makes about 4 loaves of this size bread. Give you an idea, guys. I got a big hand. That's a lot of bread, and it makes 4 of those batches.
Yep.
That's a lot of food for 8 cups of flour.
Right. I mean, this will feed our whole family. You can make them bigger, like I said, or you can make more. I used to bake 4 at a time. I used to have a square, or no, it wasn't square. It was rectangle pizza stone, and I was able to put 4 on it. But that one sadly broke.
Ooh, right there, cutter right there.
Would you like to do the honors?
I mess it up all the time. I'm the one that shoots the seeds everywhere. But look at that. That's perfect.
It's really
I'll
hot.
get it, baby.
You see how? Okay, hold on.
I'll hold it up.
No. Give it here.
No.
Give it here.
No.
Okay.
She's going around.
So you see how it kind of pulled it?
A little higher up. There you go.
See how it pulled it because it's still really hot?
Go closer, baby. Right there. Perfect.
Okay. See how it kind of pulled it this way? Yeah, that's what happens when it's really hot.
We do need the butter, though.
Of course.
We need the butter.
I got the butter.
But again, guys, what a simple recipe.
Yeah, it is very simple.
It's simple.
I actually will double dog dare Jack Denani to make this.
Ooh.
If he's still watching.
There you go. You take a corner and I get a corner too. Oh, thank you, Julie Nelson.
Aw, thank you.
I have celiac.
Aw.
Any good gluten-free? Describe.
That is so good. I'm sorry. I wish I knew more gluten-free recipes. I did have one that I made when our friend's Old Glory Farm came over. I made a gluten-free cornbread, and I used cornmeal, organic cornmeal, and coconut flour.
That's right.
And it was so delicious. I thought it was really good. Brad didn't like how sweet it was, but I really, really liked it. It was really good. I will have to dig that recipe up. So send me an email, and I'll type my email in
here. As you're doing that, check this out, and I want you to hear this. I'm going to try to do this off camera, but listen. Can you hear that?
It's so good.
Oh my gracious. I hope you heard that.
So, yeah, Julie, send me an email. I will dig up that recipe because I have it. I know I have it, and I'll send it to you. It's really, really good. Oh, this is so good.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? Oh, that's torture, Danny. I'm sorry. Oh. Well, we're here for you, people. We understand that everybody's trapped inside.
This is so easy to make. You could have, if you started right now, you could have dinner, but have this by dinner.
Yep.
Because you got to let this rest for 2 hours. It's been a while since I've made this bread, actually.
Oh yeah, that's so good. Well, you got another one?
Yeah.
Well,
but
that's it for today. I'm thinking maybe we should do live again tomorrow, like 1 o'clock.
Maybe. Yeah, we can probably do that.
We want to be here for you guys. We realize it's a stinky situation to be in.
Mm-hmm.
How about rice and beans?
We can do that.
That's a great prepper meal.
Well, maybe not though, because it takes a lot of other ingredients to make that rice and beans. It's the sofrito.
Oh yeah.
You know, that is a complicated thing.
But what
We
about
gotta
something
figure
that they could make that they can make?
See, that's the thing. You know, during these times right now, we have to think inexpensive, healthy, and the one important thing is flavorful.
Well, and
You
also
gotta have
that
flavor.
you can, excuse me, that you can get it.
Yes, if it's stuff that you have kind of set aside just for these what if situations, we got to learn how to make it. So,
I think rice and beans, Mama. I know that it's.
see, I don't know.
Well, and the reason why is they could go to our cookbook and see it.
That is true.
Beforehand.
That is very true. They could see it on the cookbook.
And furthermore, we already have a video on it. You could go look at it.
You could watch the video.
And then you could see how we're doing it, and you could cook along.
Right.
I'm thinking rice and beans, baby.
Well,
because then we can have chicken for dinner tomorrow.
You know, I actually just had a thought about the sofrito. We could actually make it with Thrive Life ingredients.
Could we?
Mm-hmm.
We never have.
We don't have fresh tomatoes right now. Actually, we do, but they're little cherry tomatoes. But we don't have fresh green peppers right now because it's winter.
Let's try it now.
We'll try it.
And then we'll
try
let's
it.
do that.
Figure it out.
Yes?
We'll try it. Yeah.
So rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Latin dish that is silly good.
Right.
Lots of flavor. And it's rice and beans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all preppers have rice and beans. I think that's in the rule book. You can't be a prepper without 500 pounds of rice and 500 pounds of beans. So check out our channel if you have not before. There is a video on rice and beans.
There is.
And we'll make that tomorrow.
Yep.
And if not, we'll make something else.
So, Sharon, are you asking about the recipe we made today or the one we're going to make tomorrow? So this one is the Artisan bread, and it is 8 cups of flour. You can use all-purpose. You can use bread flour. It doesn't matter. 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 tablespoons of salt, and 4 cups of warm water. And that's it. You mix it up, and it makes a dough. Here, I'll show you this. That's good. How much bigger this is now. Just since we made it a little while ago. It's humongous.
Hold on, let me go close again. There you go.
See that? So it makes a really sticky dough. You can pull it out, mix up heat up a loaf of bread, or bake a loaf of bread really fast.
So again, because I'm seeing Janet asking a recipe for tomorrow. It's gonna be the rice and beans. Go to our channel and just search it. Rice and beans, and it'll come up. And that way you'll have the recipe. And you can cook with us.
Yeah.
So with that, you guys have an awesome day. Don't be all down because we got to be careful at home.
That's the thing. You have to make not make light of it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say
make the best of it.
Make the best of it. That's exactly what I mean. Make the best of a bad situation. Have fun with your kids.
Learn something new.
Deep clean your bathroom.
Learn how to make bread.
Learn how to make bread. Yeah, learn how to make bread.
Okay.
It's important. Ooh,
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's see. I got to turn.